Hey everyone, Skull902 here. A couple days before I finally saw the new Sonic film, I decided I would treat myself to a little marathon of the Hedgehog's previous forays into film and television, every TV show, and the OVA. 3 episodes apiece for the shows. I decided to add to the fun by randomizing what episodes I watched, except for Boom because I want to pick up from where I left off on Rule of 3, and thanks to the power of random.org, I got some interesting ones. You'll see how in a moment. There were a couple exceptions I had in mind for what I was watching. For example, no Sonic Christmas Blast, Episode 5 of X was out because I want to wait for the Reanimate to come out, as well as the Adventure Arcs because I'm LPing those games this year. But after a fun little time in Dust's VC picking these episodes out, I went to watching and I figured it'd be fun to make a video about my thoughts on each of the episodes. My plans did get a little fucked up near the end, but you'll find out why. I'll try to keep the thought summaries short since there's going to be so many episodes to cover. Let's get into it. For AOSTH, the randomizer really wanted me to see Tails-focused episodes, with 2 out of the 3 selections dedicated to the Fox. So, what episodes were they? I really liked how the plot just sort of begins right out of nowhere. Goopster, as a creature, is really weird with a somewhat freaky design at first, but I got used to him and it was nice to see that Tails cared about him so much. The episode does kinda drag and feel like nothing's going on until Robotnik shows up about halfway through, but some jokes that got me to chuckle kept it from getting boring. Plus it was fun to find out that Robotnik was a good pet owner. Good episode with an even better message in the Sonic Says segment. The people behind this show really knew how to write stupidity, and this one might just be their finest work. While it does become rather obvious that this is a tie-in for Sonic Spinball, even before the Scorpion boss is mentioned, it's still a fun time. Especially when people are hit with the stupidity ray. Double especially when it's Robotnik. That's why the Sonic Says is my favorite in the series. Except for Sonic berating me for not staying in school. Guess I'll cry now, lol. Well, I saw it and this episode's fucking boring. The plot just kinda happens. Sonic is kidnapped without much explanation, Tails and some duck guy eventually save him, hooray. Not even Robotnik could make this one interesting, aside from a single joke near the end. At least the Sonic Says had a nice message about computers for the time. So for SatAM, the randomizer surprisingly picked 3 consecutive episodes, all from the first season. Let's see how they stack up. I was bored by this one too. Dunno if it's my feelings of general indifference toward this show and the Archie comic getting to me, but it was just kinda there. Sally gets a message from her father with no leads, Sonic fails to rescue a fellow freedom fighter but there's no emotional weight to it. It's an episode, I guess. Much like the next one, I've seen it before, but it was a lot better than the last. Not the greatest in my opinion, but it had a plot that was easy to follow and get behind, and after Tails' moments from the middle of the story, the ending was pretty heartwarming. Saw this for the first time a couple months ago, and I'm glad the second viewing didn't disappoint. One of the best episodes of the show. Got a good amount of tension with a gripping plot and an emotional downer ending. There's that weight that was missing earlier. Couple that with good action and character moments, this episode's a real treat. I deliberated a little bit about whether I should watch the official version or the Reanimate that just came out and figured I should go with the original, because reanimated projects I find are more fun to watch with friends. Rabid, Josh, keep notes. The best way to describe this movie would be that it's just fun. A fun plot, fun setting, fun take on the characters both from the games and original to this project. It's a good time. I'd have to say the OVA is arguably Metal Sonic's shining moment in the entire series. A fantastic soundtrack and pretty impressive visuals at times are the cherries on top of a well-done movie. With Sonic Underground, the randomizer decided to pick 2 focus episodes on Sonia, much like AOSTH for Tails. Except the site I'm using fucked up the order of the first episode picked, and after a little digging I got fed up trying to find it, so fuck it. 2 episodes for Underground. I don't really like the show much anyway. Much like a couple of the episodes before, this one was a bit of a slog to get through, but not quite as much. Felt like it took forever to get to the whole point of the story, and when it reaches that part, there's so little remaining time in the show to let it sit in. Good idea to put a song in every episode, eh? But the thing that surprised me was the ending. Not only was it an asspull, but Queen Alina was right fucking there. They absolutely could have united at that point and put a stop to Robotnik. Hell, he has a line at the beginning about the city they're in becoming a landmark or something. That would have been the perfect way to play on that. Goddamn. Another one where it takes a really long time to get into the actual meat of the episode, but at least this one was amusing to some degree. And the implication that they just up and killed Robotnik at the end instead of waiting around for their opportunity-missing mother is kinda hilarious. Like the writer said, fuck it, this is gonna be the last one anyway, who gives a shit. Certainly not a bad note to end the show on. So for X, The randomizer decided to start me nice and early and then fling me forward by 50 episodes. It'll be interesting to see how much is different in terms of production as well as the writing. Yes, I'm using the English episode titles. Kinda surprises me to remember that this show did have some slice-of-life type plots in the early goings. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The writers for this show had a genuinely good grasp on how to do heartfelt stuff. I felt bad for Cream after she told Chris off for dissing his mom's because she couldn't talk to hers, but that made the scene she had connecting with Ella at the end all the sweeter. Good episode, even if it does contain one of the stupidest fucking edits 4Kids ever made to one of their shows of all time. Tell me, Mr. Stewart, which version of that painting do you really like? Suddenly Metarex Saga! I may be sick of the cold weather, but I'm a sucker for winter/icy aesthetics, and this episode pretty much immediately gets points for including some nice ones. It also gets points for the Rodney Dangerfield reference. Poor Knuckles. Had some fun action, even if sometimes our heroes got out of a jam due to some dramatic convenience, and it had some nice surprises too, since I haven't watched all of the episodes. For instance, by this point I thought the X-Tornado was history. This one was solid, unlike the fake emerald at the end. Have a fun fact. When I said the randomizer picked this episode, Remy started fangirling, and I think my thoughts on it will tell you why. Once again, the writers do heartwarming well, and there are a couple particular moments with Sonic and Amy in this episode that embody what I mean. The prevailing thought at the beginning of the episode is that he's just fucking doomed, but she's determined to help him in any way possible. Not because she wants him to herself, but because it's the right thing to do. Holy shit, is that a rarity in X. There's the bit with the bubble that's more commonly associated with them in this, but later on you can actually see a subtlety in that the two are holding hands, then onto each other as they watch the Metarex's final plan start coming into fruition. I'm far too convinced that the writers wanted to make them official really bad, but Sega said no. Other than that, there's a legitimately good show of character development for Chris, and then the action sequence of everyone getting involved was also an awesome sight to see. Pretty much everyone played an important role in this confrontation, and that's a really cool way to use the characters. Despite jumping right into the thick of things as opposed to watching the first part beforehand, this one was honestly very well done. It was at this point I realized I was running short on time and would have to cut my planned watching in half. Still, if my previous thoughts on this show were any indication, I should be in for something good. Who does put an off switch on a Doomsday device? I mean, really. Only when he started getting loud could I hear Roger Craig Smith and Dave's voice. It shows how well he can differentiate between characters. The action wasn't nearly as spectacular as that last episode of X, but this is a comedy series primarily, and it very much delivered on the laughs here. Good stuff. We're on a roll now. The action was better and the jokes got bigger laughs out of me too. The evil versions of our heroes, with the exception of Knuckles, who had some good lines, didn't really leave too much of an impression, but Blue Eggman was pretty cool. Though, why would they make him evil again at the end? Like Alina before, you guys had that shit won. What's wrong with you? Didn't really get any belly laughs from it or anything, but this one was still plenty funny. Should the Gogobuzz appear in future episodes, I'm looking forward to the gags they might be able to do with him. That being said, perhaps it should just stay as gags. And that's it. After these episodes, I was properly hyped up to catch the new movie. Even if some things were more entertaining than others, this was a good time seeing how Sonic media has evolved over the years. If you want my initial reactions, I've got a video of that I'm linking in the description, and then for more fleshed out thoughts, I'll be conducting a podcast for that very soon. For now, I've been Skull902, thank you for watching, and have yourselves a wonderful day.